For this piercing, we're going to use a set of slotted sponge clamp forceps, a couple of rubber bands to hold the tension, a threaded taper so we can switch directions, our appropriate implement, a 1-inch barbell shaft, flat 5mm disc for the back, and a 5/32 ball for the front. Kind of small, or kind of smallish ends, but a long post. You need that long post for the swelling that's going to happen, because cheeks swell pretty bad. Of course, we're going to sterilize that stuff, and that's what's happening right now.
So your facial nerve runs here and branches this way across the front. So everything above this point in the face, you might hit parts of the facial nerve that have branched, but you won't cause any permanent damage. And the parotid gland lies between here and here in the middle third. So your parotid gland basically lies right there. It kind of extends from here and it goes like that. So if you draw an imaginary line from here to here and take the middle third, so I would say between there and really there.
And that's where you're going to have big major glands.
That's your parotid, and you never want to damage that.
Okay.
Because you'll create permanent holes that will never seal. They're like called fistulas.
Yeah, yeah.
So really the best place to go is exactly like right where you were saying. It felt the thinnest.
Well, I was taught to reach in, feel the cheek, and go from the top to the bottom, and you can kind of feel where that thick rope of...
And you can the opening of the parotid gland too. It's right here. You know that little flap you have on the inside of your mouth that you can play with? That's your parotid gland opening, where you can gleek from.
Is that how you do that?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I've always wondered.
That'll be $250 consult fee.
And worth every penny. Oh, dude, I can totally feel that.
There you go.
Holy balls.
Don't go there.
I won't. See, I was looking to go right about here.
That's perfect.
This little thin spot.
Perfection. Yeah.
Awesome. And that was Dr. Sara. She's a medical professional, hence the term doctor. All right. Gauze, rubber bands, appropriate implement, barbell shafts, ends, and we close that guy up. Close that cassette, insert it into the machine, press it in fully, unwrapped instruments, and we will come back in about 6 minutes. Alright, so first steps first, we're just going to get you cleaned up, little surgical scrub on a little sterile Q-tip here. We already rinsed the inside with an antiseptic mouth rinse. I'm not going to mention brand names because they're not paying me. But you just get this nice and cleaned up. And get another one for the other side. Future video, I'll show you how to do a proper setup. Get you kind of cleaned up right here. Alright, second step is we're going to make some marks on them. We've already felt around for the appropriate anatomy. Now it's just a matter of getting it on there. Luckily, Josh is not too hideously misformed. You might remember Josh from episode 5, Josh's suspension. That's him. Real goddamn internet celebrity.
That's what I'm working towards.
Yeah, aren't we all? Now see, also too, when you smile real big like that, it makes me want to drop that just a hair forward so we don't get that into the crease on your face. One more time, big smile over here. All right, good deal. You can drop that. And then I'm going to get a mark over here. Oh, sorry about that, sweetie. And take a look, and that is crooked as But that's why you move marks, because marks are easy to move, piercing's almost impossible to
It
move.
hurt.
Alright, so it's been about 15 minutes, about 20 different sets of marks. I have to move them all around, but I think we got set up. So at this point, I'm going to use my gloved hands to get our nifty stuff out of the tray. I'm actually going to change my gloves into the sterile gloves, and then we're going to get the stuff out of the tray. For this, we're going to be using slotted sponge forceps, 4 twists of a rubber band around the outside just to hold tension. Alright Josh, go ahead and open your mouth for me. Basically, I'm just going to get these guys dropped on there. That felt pretty good. Now, when I go to do this, you're not going to want to go tonguing around on the inside with your tongue. Nah, you're good, man. You're way good. Just going to get lined up, but I'm not doing anything just yet. I'm just getting lined up. Remember, you're in total control of this party, even though we're filming. Alright, Josh, you look good, though. So whenever you're ready, good deep breath in and out. There you go. Nice and easy peasy Japanesey. Damn, it looks good. Now, we're going to use our taper to switch directions. So that means we're going to open up, carefully grab the end. We're going to use the pressure to slide this thing out like that, not stabbing the other side of his cheek. Well, maybe a little. And see, and this is what you want to look at. Go ahead and swivel this over. Notice how nice and straight that is? If that going like this, or like that, or something like that, some you're f***ed. Alright, let's go ahead and back on up a little bit. I'm just going to get this guy screwed onto the end. We're using a 1-inch bar here to make sure he's got adequate room for swelling. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get that slipped in there just like so. And this is going to stand out like a bit like a antenna out of his cheek for a little while. But that's good though, because it also allows us to be able to look at our angles and make sure that everything is nice, square, copacetic, and kosher. That's right, I said kosher. Piercing can be totally kosher. Alright, side number 2. Just going to do basically the same thing as we did the last time. We're going to get our sponge forceps lined up very carefully. We're going to drop that on there just like so. Now we're going to get lined up on the outside with our appropriate implement. And we look good. So Josh, whenever you're ready, good deep breath in and out. There you go. Nice little cheek piercing there. What up? Let me get this guy transferred real quick so we don't have sharps hanging around in his mouth for too long. I'm a little more careful about the transfer this time. I say that, but well, you're going to wind up with free piercings one way or the other. Now that we got the angles or the directions switched, we go ahead and screw this guy onto the end. And we do our insertion, transfer the jewelry, unscrew the taper, and we screw the ball on the end. And I push both barbells down. And that's how you do cheek piercings at Pangea. Afterwards, you should be expecting not to be biting the jewelry. They should be appropriately placed to where you're not in your tooth bite line. It should be not resting up high on your gums. It really shouldn't be resting anywhere. Now, also be warned, you're going to look like a chipmunk for a week or two. Leave those long bars in there. Resist the temptation to downsize too early. It'll do a bad imitation of an implant, and then you have to see me again. And that's not good. Well, so it's a week later with Josh's cheek piercings, and despite our best efforts, One of his discs fell off and he wound up swallowing it. An unfortunate situation. However, we're going to get him fixed up. Let's talk a little bit about Mr. Josh. About, so far, what's been your experiences with healing cheek piercings?
Well, the worst thing it's been so far was only about 3 days of bleeding on and off, just occasional, having to dab it with a cotton swab here and there, or if I bent over it would just stream down my face for a minute. Kind of intense, I gotta say. Past that though, no real pain. I mean, it hasn't been too horribly swollen. My skin's yet to touch balls, so it's doing good. I'd say it's doing good.
Yeah, so today we're going to put a slightly shorter par in there and replace the disc on the back, because right now he has a ball on the back, which is not really the most advisable thing, but it's certainly better than losing your piercing. The moral of this story is make sure to have some extra parts laying around that are compatible with the jewelry that you already have. It'll help you out in the long run. And then if you do have problems, be sure to see a professional piercer for assistance. Don't necessarily try to do it yourself. And that's downsizing cheek piercings. Make sure to have professional help. Woohoo! Downsized. So we're about almost 3 months in, and got them down to 5/8, and we'll see if they get any thinner than that. But just thought we'd let you see how this winds up. You're not always going to have to walk around with big antennas sticking out of your face, but it's good too for a little while. Don't try this at home, kids. Cheek piercings are advanced. Just thought we'd do something for some educational value.